All right, let's jump right into this explainer where we're going to decode Mark Tilbury's incredibly popular strategy for going from absolutely nothing to building a really lucrative online brand. You know, the side hustle space right now is just overwhelming. Everyone's promising you overnight success, right? Well, today we're cutting straight through that noise. We're going to break down exactly how you can navigate this whole path as a student, or honestly, just as anyone starting from absolute scratch using a really clear step-by-step progression.
So we're zeroing right in on the ultimate dream goal, making your first $10,000 online. Now you might be wondering, why 10 grand? Well, it's not just some random number we pulled out of thin air. In the online business world, hitting that $10,000 mark is like the ultimate proof of concept. It proves you've actually got a viable offer, that people are literally willing to pay you, and honestly, the biggest thing is it shifts your mindset from, wait, can I actually do this? To, okay, how far can I scale this thing? And the coolest part, this entire framework is built for people starting with zero capital and absolutely zero experience.
So that brings us to the ultimate question for any broke student or anyone sitting there looking at an empty bank account right now. How do you actually get there? Well, the secret to understanding this whole strategy is that you shouldn't look at it like some giant impossible mountain. Instead, we're going to treat this financial journey exactly like a video game. You start at level 1 with your basic beginner stats, and you just have to level up systematically. You can't just jump straight to the final boss without the right skills and tools where you're going to fail. Make sense?
Okay, so here's our map for today's explainer. A 5-stage progression to basically beat the game. We've got level 1, talent maxing. Level 2, service maxing. Level 3, skill maxing. Level 4, position maxing. And finally, level 5, brand maxing.
No, just look at the sheer amount of noise in the 2026 side hustle ecosystem. I mean, it's wild out there. You're constantly bombarded with the next big trend. AI channels, faceless niches, passive income, website cloning, the whole shebang. It is so incredibly easy to get distracted and just bounce from one shiny object to the next without ever making a single dime. But Tilbury's framework completely cuts through all that chaos. It's the reliable signal you actually need. Instead of just chasing a trend with zero foundation, this system gives you the real underlying mechanics of how wealth is built, no matter what niche you eventually decide to jump into.
All right, level 1, talent maxing, discovering your baseline.
This first step is literally all about starting with exactly what you've already got. Like, what is your baseline talent? Before you go out and spend a single dollar on fancy courses or gear or expensive software, you have to look inward. A lot of people think they have absolutely zero skills, but actually, scratch that, it's rarely true. Are you naturally super organized? Are you a pretty decent writer? Do you spend hours scrolling social media and kind of just instinctively get what makes a video engaging? That right there is a baseline talent. Talent maxing is basically just auditing yourself and realizing that your everyday basic human abilities have real potential value. You're just laying out your inventory before the game really starts.
Moving on to level 2, service maxing, packaging your talent.
So the shift here is all about taking that raw baseline ability of yours and presenting it to the market as an actual solution to someone else's problem. You're no longer just someone who writes pretty well, you're now officially offering freelance blog writing services. You aren't just kind of good at Instagram, you're offering social media management for local businesses. Service maxing forces you to build a bridge between what comes naturally to you and what a client actually desperately needs. You're structuring your talent into a neat, deliverable package with a price tag on it. And this is exactly where you make your first few bucks and validate that, hey, your time is actually worth money.
But here's the catch. While this definitely gets you off the ground, remember that at this stage, you're inherently still trading your basic time for money. And that inherently has a massive ceiling. I mean, there's only 24 hours in a day, guys. If you're a video editor charging, say, $20 an hour, you can only work so many hours before you max out your income, get totally burned out, and just hit a financial brick wall. So service maxing is a totally necessary stepping stone. It gets you onto the playing field, but it is a terrible place to stay if you want to smash that $10,000 mark and go beyond it. To break past that ceiling, we have to evolve.
And that brings us to level 3, skill maxing, the multiplier effect. This right here is the multiplier. It's where you stop being just a generalist and start becoming a true expert, whose time is suddenly worth, well, a whole lot more. You're taking that package service and just injecting it with high-level, specialized knowledge. So you aren't just editing videos anymore, you're mastering specific retention editing techniques that literally guarantee higher view counts for big creators. You're just writing blog posts, you're learning high-conversion copywriting that directly brings in sales. By focusing so intensely on learning and deliberate practice, you become absolutely irreplaceable. You're solving way bigger problems for your clients, which means, you guessed it, you can charge dramatically higher prices.
Just look at the huge difference here. It's a complete night-and-day upgrade in your earning potential. Over on the basic services side, you're competing on price. You're out there fighting with 1,000 other beginners for scraps, essentially just begging for an hourly wage. But when you start trading specialized expertise, you are competing purely on value. Clients do not care how many hours it takes you, they only care about the massive result you're bringing to their business. And that mental shift is exactly what allows you to start charging those premium flat rates. This is how you completely fast-track your way toward that $10,000 goal without working yourself into the ground. Okay, level 4, position maxing, entering the boss stage.
The huge, fundamental shift at the stage is moving your business model away from direct labor and into managing, outsourcing, or really positioning yourself as the undeniable authority in your space. Because think about it, even with a high-income skill, if you're the one doing every single little task, your growth is still totally limited by your own personal energy. Position maxing is where you step back and basically become the architect. You might start a mini agency where you hire other level 2 freelancers to do the actual fulfillment while you just focus on sales and high-level strategy. Or maybe you create a digital product or a course, leveraging that specialized knowledge you built up in level 3, so you can sell it infinitely without doing any extra heavy lifting. You are officially detaching your income from your time.
Finally, level 5, brand maxing, achieving true wealth.
This is it, the final boss. A strong brand essentially does all the heavy lifting for you, allowing you to easily hit and then totally blow past that $10,000 goal. When you have a solid brand, whether that's a personal brand on YouTube or just a really highly respected company name, trust is already established before you even say a word to a potential customer. People are literally seeking you out. Opportunities are just landing in your inbox. You can launch new products, recommend affiliate tools, or lock down high-ticket clients almost effortlessly because your reputation enters the room before you do. Brand maxing is the ultimate multiplier. It turns your entire ecosystem into a wealth-generating machine that's working for you 24/7. So let's just review how these final stages compound on each other to take you from a basic freelancer to an absolute powerhouse. First, you build specialized skills. That's what gives you the high value. Second, you leverage your market position. That gives you the scale and buys back your time. And third, you scale with brand recognition, and that gives you crazy momentum and exponential growth. They build on one another perfectly, like a giant puzzle. You can't build a lasting brand if you don't have the skills to back it up, right? And you can't properly leverage your position if you don't have a high-value service to offer in the first place. It is a super structured, totally logical climb.
And as Tilbury points out, $10,000 is honestly just the starting line. Yes, it's the headline of this explainer, and yes, it is a massive, massive achievement for anyone starting out. But mastering this framework is really about building the foundation for long-term financial independence. Once you actually know how to navigate from baseline talent all the way up to a highly leveraged brand, you possess a blueprint that you can just replicate over and over again. You're not just making a quick buck here. You're learning the fundamental mechanics of modern wealth creation. You are building an asset, which is yourself, that is going to pay dividends for the rest of your life.
So now that you've got the entire map to level up from 0 to 10 grand and way beyond, the only real question left is, where does your journey begin today? Are you sitting at level 1, needing to sit down and discover what you're actually good at? Or are you kind of stuck at level 2, just trading your time for a few bucks and desperately needing to upgrade those skills to hit level 3? Real progress starts with extreme honesty about where you currently are on this map. So take a hard look at what you're doing right now, identify your current level, and figure out exactly what you need to do to beat this stage and unlock the next one. Get out there, start leveling up, and hey, thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today.